Errol Spence Jr. could return as early as October and be set up for a 2-fight deal that will wind up with him being the unified champion at 154 pounds. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 154-pound division where we've got some updates for you. There's an article written by Lance Pugmire on Boxing Scene that relayed some very critical information about the 154-pound division, which I think gives us insight into what the big plans are and where we're going to be a year from now at 135. And it could very well be with Errol Spence Jr. back at it with a unified championship, despite the plans being laid by the other side, which is Turki Al-Sheikh and Terrence Crawford. Now, before I get into the details, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, accept my invitation and hit the subscribe button. Also, thank you to everybody that supports the channel, whether you do it by hitting the like, sharing the video. Super appreciation for people in the super thanks of videos like that. Shout out Mario and people that come by the live streams. But let's get into this because look, man, somebody got to be in big fights. Somebody got to sell these tickets, and it might as well be Errol Spence Jr., who apparently could return as early as October. This in a Boxing Scene article written by Lance Pugmire that was laying out what's going on next with Tyszyu. Now, both of these things are very connected. Tyszyu will be fighting Bakram Murtazaliev, who is the IBF champion in the weight class. Errol Spence Jr. will be fighting Sebastian Fundura. So you have the first fight where Tyszyu probably beats Bakram Murtazaliev. I haven't seen Bakram Murtazaliev fight but one time, a little bit. So I'll give a breakdown later, closer to the fight, about the solid prediction for the fight. But as far as who the big name is, who the recognizable guy is, who's got the most championship experience and all of that, it's probably Tyszyu. And Tyszyu, in my opinion, is still every bit as good as he's ever been, despite what happened with Sebastian Fundura. You will find if Errol is able to beat Fundura, which we'll talk about, then and Tszyu is able to beat Murtazaliev, boom, you get Errol fighting two guys back to back. 4 championships. The winner becomes a unified champion. And how many big time fights do we get out of that, kids? Let's count them. Errol, that's 2 big time fights that you get. Errol and Fundura, and Errol and Tyszyu. And if Errol is there, able to beat these 2 dudes, I'm telling you right now, I already think he's in the Hall of Fame, but you can definitely chop it up and put him there. Now, you can definitely just be like, look, just put him there. If he's able to do those 2 things, that would be a unified champion in 2 weight divisions. That's Hall of Fame stuff. Now, people are going to say, can he do it? Answer, I don't know. It's going to have to have been the case that he really was drained badly at 147, that it really wasn't the accident, and that he can get back to somewhere near his original self or better if he's actually being able to be as strong as he can be. You have to see that with Sebastian Fundura, which many people think is a bad look for him. I have to tell you myself, I think that this is similar to what Adrian Bronner had mentioned, where Adrian Bronner said famously that you can always get good fights with the PBC, but they want you to fight Godzilla. They want you to fight Godzilla to do it. Well, that's That's the line of fights that Errol Spence Jr. would be on. Mothra, then Godzilla. If he gets by that, man, that's what's up. Now, it also does, I have to say, because we're going to talk about the political angle of this a little bit. It winds up where you have that 154-pound belts split, where you have more than likely Sebastian Fundura will be stripped of its WBO title if he fights Errol. Right? So that just say that goes to Errol's Terrence Crawford, and Terrence does what Turki Al-Sheikh says he doesn't want to do, which is fight Virgil Ortiz for the WBO belt. Then you have the WBO and the WBA world titles with Terrence Crawford and Turki Al-Sheikh, and you would have the WBA and the WB. You'd have the WBC and the IBF with the PBC. Well, guess what we have for that? We have a guy named Jermell Charlo who reserved his right to petition to come back and fight for his WBA super title, and he was put in recess. So Jermell Charlo, who really is the king of that division, in my opinion, can just jump on that WBA belt and see if Terrence Crawford wants to fight him. If Terrence Crawford don't want to fight him, then Terrence Crawford got to drop the belt. Then you got 3 belts on the PBC side. It could all wind up back with Jermell Charlo, because with any one of those people could win those 2 fights. People would probably say the odds-on guy to be there with the unification of the IBF and the WBC is probably Tim Tszyu. But then what would you wind up there with? You'd wind up with Tim Tszyu versus Jermell Charlo. Also, you could have Errol Spence versus Jermell Charlo. Funny situation, because I don't think really that Errol's going to be around more than 2 or 3 fights. But I love how the 154-pound division is playing out. I hope that Turki Al-Sheikh is not correct when he said that Terrence Crawford does not want to fight anybody other than Canelo, because I think that would be a very inefficient way and a very inefficient and a buzzkill type of way for Terrence Crawford to end his career. Coming off of a fight with Madrimov, which was, I think it was a good performance from Terrence Crawford. He won the fight. I don't think he lost. Solid performance from him. But financially, the fight didn't do what people wanted it to do. People weren't really interested in the fight, really didn't buy the fight a lot. So, be a funny way to end that career if after that you just sit around and wait on Canelo Alvarez in a fight that, man, I'm telling you, Canelo will have you waiting for a decade. Canelo will have you waiting like Sugar Ray Leonard kept him waiting. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.